Amazes me that to convince black people that Donald Trump cares about them, he takes pictures with celebrities. It's amazing to me. If Donald Trump cared about black people, he wouldn't have denigrated the president with those claims of birtherism.
Hughley has lately established the internet is on fire and Snoop Dogg is being blamed, despite the fact that he has previously clowned about it, various other artists for. In no way is the comedian holding back. This is what he is revealing, calls Snoop's true colors, and fans are, I am devouring it. Things kicked off when DL uploaded a clip from 2017 where Snoop African performers were criticized for their performances at Donald Trump's inauguration. Back then, Snoop made fun of them by asking, which one of them is, you Uncle Tom ninjas going to do it? It was bold, raw, and straight up dismissive. But now fast forward until 2025 and Snoop himself just hit the stage at a Trump event, standing right near to Nelly and Rick Ross. The same energy he threw at others back in the day, yeah, it's coming right back around on him. This time, social media didn't let it slide. The comments were ruthless. Fans dubbed him a sellout, a buster, and even joked that Snoop puffed up his chest and said, "Yes, sir, I'll dance for you, sir." People couldn't believe one of hip-hop's biggest legends, the same man who built his picture on Rebellion, and I knew that Pac done everything right about him by putting on All Eyes on Me, speaking about him, and being real with him. And if it's true what they say, this call and your telephone number will be tracked and recorded. Face to face, going to be a lot of explaining to do. Only way you would have a radio if you was at the battle with us and you had a security detail. Now you're not having a security detail. Tyson, what are you doing with the radio? Would perform for someone whose fan base scarcely even listens to rap, and the timing couldn't be worse. Snoop's been under close scrutiny due to his rumored ties to Diddy, industry suspicion that he plays for both teams, and even wild claims that he's been giving info to the feds. Add in Suge Knight's latest comments calling Snoop the actual business rat, and you've got a storm brewing that's too big to ignore.
Chill. I'm not performing. I am in Washington, D.C. right now, but I'm not performing. It's a private vibe I'm doing with my brother Snoop Dogg.
Nah, chill. I'm not performing. I am in Washington, D.C. right now, but I'm not performing. It's a private vibe I'm doing with my brother Snoop Dogg. 1, 2, 3, Snoop Doggy and Dr. Dre is at the dope, preparing to make an entry. Suge has been hinting for years that Snoop wasn't as committed to Pac as everyone believes. He even went as far as claiming Snoop lied about visiting Pac in the hospital following the shooting. According to Suge, that whole "I got kicked out attempting to see Pac" tale, cap. Suge claims Snoop never even showed up, and when the man behind death row says that, people start paying attention. Combine that with all these new Trump-related headlines, and Snoop's credibility is getting dragged through the dirt. But I am honored to be performing for the office for the President of the United States notwithstanding. Ain't no other president invited me to perform. And his image as the cool uncle of hip-hop is cracking, and Hughley is making sure everyone sees the fracture lines. When Snoop, Nelly, and Rick Ross appeared at one of Trump's inauguration events, the internet erupted. Fans were heated, calling it a betrayal of everything hip-hop stood for. So ain't nobody gonna perform for Donald Trump, huh? Which one of you jig going to be the first one to do it? I'm waiting. I'm gonna roast the one of you Uncle Tom for doing it. Which one of you gonna do it first? But Nelly wasn't backing down. He went online to defend himself in a chat with rapper Willie D, saying, "I'm not doing this for the money, it's an honor. I appreciate the office, period." Nelly even stated he'd perform for Biden or Kamala Harris if they asked, basically framing it as business, not politics. But Hughley wasn't buying that at all. He hopped on Instagram and went straight for their following, stating, "Trump propping up white supremacy isn't just his history, Nelly, it's who he still is now." He didn't stop there either. He reposted Snoop's old video, letting the discrepancy speak for itself. The message was plain. DL was calling out hypocrisy and individuals agreed. "Jose dude man, you playing to win evening guy, you sharp as a bug, what's going on? That's that crypto, see they let a real up in the Bitcoin mall, bang bang." DL's been constant about this for years. Back in 2017 when Steve Harvey met with Trump and Ben Carson, DL went off on social media. He remarked, "It amazes me that to convince black folks Trump cares, he snaps images with celebrities." Then he added, if Trump cared about black people, he wouldn't have pushed those racist birther claims against Obama, and he wouldn't have used rappers and sportsmen as props. His point, Trump doesn't see black artists as equals, just entertainment. He summed it up perfectly. They'd rather see us run the ball than run the country. So when he saw Snoop, Nelly, and Ross perform for Trump years later, he couldn't stay quiet. In DL's eyes, it wasn't just business. It was a move that played perfectly into the system. Now, DL's speculation about why Trump wanted Snoop's presence is cool but believable. He said it's about power, about Trump flexing influence over someone who used to mock him. It's a way to show he can make Snoop switch sides, DL remarked. And when you think about it, he's not wrong. Trump didn't bring back Waka Flocka, Kodak Black, or Lil Pump this time. Those guys already served their purpose back in the day when Trump needed loud and contentious names. But Snoop, he's different. His name carries actual weight. He has global recognition, mainstream appeal, and credibility that stretches beyond hip-hop. That's why DL thinks Trump's camp picked him. It wasn't random, it was intentional. And the reaction online prove it worked. The internet had no mercy. Memes, modifications, and jokes flooded every platform. One user quoted DMX saying, "They sold their lives to the devil and the price was cheap." Another wrote, after Snoop's Olympic moment, he thought he was untouchable. Guess not. And others went even deeper, accusing Snoop of being an informant, pointing out how he's suddenly everywhere, from advertisements to the Olympics to random product endorsements. One viral comment remarked, "When you have enough money, you'll justify whatever you do wrong, but money can't erase history." That one hit hard. People are clearly over the celebrity double standards. It doesn't matter how iconic Snoop's career has been. In 2025, fans remember everything. And now the question everyone's asking, did Snoop, Nelly, and Ross just botch their legacy, seeking a quick paycheck? Or was it really merely business? The debate's raging right now, with half the culture calling it a betrayal, and others saying, it's politics, who cares? But no matter which side you're on, one thing is guaranteed. Snoop's reputation took a serious struck. From Suj's claims to DL's Instagram takedown, the whole thing feels like a public unraveling of one of hip-hop's major icons. And if the reports concerning him playing both teams keep circulating, this narrative might just be getting begun. The heat surrounding Snoop Dogg ain't cooling off, it's only growing worse. Every action he makes now gets pulled apart like folks are waiting for him to slip again. What started as a performance dispute has turned into a full-blown cultural storm. DL Omi's post didn't just expose a double standard, it opened the floodgates for years of murmurs, rumors, and quiet suspicions that folks been holding in about Snoop. Suddenly, his old statements, old friendships, and even his Hollywood image are under scrutiny. Fans are questioning, who is Snoop really standing with? The streets, the culture, or whomever cuts the biggest check? Because if you think about it, Snoop's rise has always been complex. Back in the death row days, he was the voice of the West Coast, the smooth-talking gangster who spoke for the streets. But Suge Knight's latest statements cut deep. Suge claims Snoop been playing both sides since day one. That while Tupac was out there riding hard, Snoop was keeping himself protected, staying nice with both camps, and remained quiet when things got real. Suge even accused him of withholding crucial secrets about what truly happened between Pac and Death Row before that Vegas night. Snoop ain't who y'all think he is, Suge allegedly stated from behind bars, adding that Snoop's been the industry's biggest rat since the 90s. Those are heavy words from a man who lived it personally. And then toss in all the Hollywood love Snoop's been getting recently. Commercials, Olympic appearances, kids programs, cooking with Martha Stewart. It's like he's transformed himself into America's favorite uncle. But that image doesn't sit right with everyone, especially those who remember where he come from. People online started digging, saying, yo, how did Snoop go from rapper to corporate mascot? Others started connecting the dots, stating maybe that's why he's been untouchable all these years, since he's protected by more than just fame. The internet loves a good theory. And once the idea of Snoop being an industry informant took off, it spread like wildfire. Fans started pulling receipts, moments when Snoop evaded trouble while everyone else around him fell off. Think about it. During the height of Death Row's turmoil, everyone else got hit. Pac gone, Suge locked, Dre's dipped, yet Snoop slid out clean and kept winning. Some people said it's just smart business, but others think it's something else entirely. One viral post wrote, notice how Snoop really gets touched. Never canceled, never dragged for long. That ain't luck. The comment section went nuts. Whether true or not, perception is everything, and right now folks are seeing Snoop in a whole new way. DL Hughley's criticism just put gasoline to that fire. His statements weren't just about Trump, they hit on something deeper, accountability. For DL, it's not about who you perform for, it's about what message you send when you do it, especially when you once said you'd never cross that line. DL basically said Snoop's performance wasn't just poor optics, it was betrayal to the culture. He wasn't scared to call out the discrepancy between Snoop's gangster image and his new political softness. That hit a nerve, especially in an era where fans expect authenticity more than ever. Social media has been buzzing non-stop. Some fans said Snoop is trying to stay relevant in an industry that moves swiftly, while some believe it's larger than music, that it's about power plays behind the scenes. Even Nelly's defense didn't help, When he said, "I respect the office," people clowned him, saying that's just code for "I got paid." Rick Ross stayed mostly quiet, but that silence didn't protect him either. He became dragged by association, with one fan tweeting, "Ross went from hustling to hustling for Trump." That one comment alone went viral with thousands of retweets. The streets were not feeling it. Meanwhile, earlier hip-hop heads, one YouTube commenter stated, "We watched Snoop go from F the police to let me obtain that corporate check. That's not evolution, that's erosion." Harsh words, but a lot of people agreed. Others suggested that it's unjust to expect artists to stay militant forever. Maybe Snoop's simply adapting to survive. One post wrote, "The world changed, why shouldn't he?" Still, Hughley's message kept echoing. You can't condemn others for selling out and then do the same thing years later. That's the line that birthed through. And with Snoop's name already mingled into Diddy's continuing controversies, fans couldn't help linking the dots. The Diddy investigation made everyone paranoid about who's involved with who, and Snoop's sudden friendliness with political figures just fueled that paranoia. Some claim he's trying to stay near to power to defend himself. Others believe it's merely business actions. But one thing's for sure, every headline now adds to his mystery. Then came the conspiracy wave. The Snoop plays for both teams theory got louder. It wasn't simply internet trolls either. Real hip-hop insiders started speaking up. A former producer remarked in an interview, "You never really know who's who in this game. Some of the ones you all believe are the realest been playing chess while the rest playing checkers." Fans took that as a subtle jab toward Snoop. Every time something suspicious happens in the industry, people now throw his name in the mix. It's gotten to the point when they don't know what to believe anymore. But even with all this backlash, Snoop's not saying much. He's put a few mysterious messages online, mostly jokes, nothing serious. Some think he's brushing it off, others say he's just too huge to care. But silence can be deadly, especially when people are already questioning your loyalty. The longer he stays quiet, the louder the noise gets. The same individual who once dubbed himself the voice of the streets is currently facing those same streets, turning their backs on him. And in this digital age, public opinion hurts harder than any diss track. What's wild is that this isn't just about one event anymore, it's about legacy. When your whole career is built on genuineness, one move like this can flip everything upside down. Snoop's facing the biggest image crisis of his life. The irony? He's the one that taught everyone how to move wisely in the game. But just now, it's looking like he's the one being played. By now, the Snoop Dogg drama has gone much beyond social media chatter. It's developed into a full-on dispute regarding trust, loyalty, and image in hip-hop. Every day, new clips, interviews, and memes pop up, pulling Snoop's name back into the spotlight. And while some folks still ride for him, saying he's just being smart about business, others feel violated, like their beloved uncle just switched sides on live TV. The reality is, Snoop established a brand that feels untouchable, but now that shield's starting to crack. And when your career is as long and public as his, every inconsistency comes back to haunt you. Hughley didn't just call him out for hypocrisy. He touched on a nerve that's been pulsing in the hip-hop community for years, that line between keeping it real and selling out. When DA mentioned Snoop performing for Trump was a flex move, basically Trump showing he can make someone who once insulted him perform for him, everybody felt that. It made Snoop look like a pawn in someone else's political game. One tweet that blew up remarked, "Trump don't need your bars, Snoop. He needed your face. That's the flex." And that's precisely what DL's been warned about. Powerful people using star faces to make comments that go much beyond amusement. But here's the real twist. Hughley's call-out made folks start reliving all those old industry speculations concerning Snoop's contacts, affiliations, and his role behind the scenes. From the Diddy investigation to Suge Knight's interviews from jail, everything's connecting in ways that make people go, wait, has this been right in front of us the whole time? Some followers even brought up the old assertion that Snoop knew more than he said concerning Tupac's death, and that the narrative he recounted about being kicked out of the hospital after Pac was shot was only for compassion. Suge stated flat out he never arrived to the hospital. That story's bogus. And when Suge speaks, the hip-hop world listens, even if he's behind bars. What's crazy is how fast everything flipped. Just months ago, Snoop was everywhere, smiling on TV, lighting up at the Olympics, partnering with brands, showing up in movies, looking like the greatest favorite rapper alive. Now people are side-eyeing everything. Even harmless commercials are getting dragged under footage of admirers admitting they truly turned Snoop into a mascot. Others joke that Snoop's on every product but loyalty. That line alone went viral. And you can tell this scandal hit him where it hurts, not in his money, but in his reputation. Because money can't purchase street respect, and once you lose that, it's hard to earn it back. Still, some people argue it's unjust. They say Snoop's been carrying the West Coast for decades, building bridges when others burn them. Y'all mad he getting a bag from Trump? One fan wrote, but y'all weren't mad while he was cashing checks from Hollywood. That's the other side of this, the business argument. Snoop's one of the few rappers from his period still dominating mainstream entertainment, and it comes with choices most street artists never have to face. Maybe he's not switching sides. Maybe he's just survival in a system where you either play the game or get played. But even if that's true, perception matters more than logic in today's environment. One misstep online and the whole culture is ready to cancel you. And with DA Hughley putting that terrible 2017 clip back in circulation, fans had all the receipts they needed to drag Snoop through the mud. The irony stings. The same man who once inquired, "Which one of you Uncle Tom ninjas gonna perform supporting Trump?" became the main act years later. The same energy he threw out came back 10 times harder. One viral TikTok replied, "That's not karma, that's full circle humiliation." As the outrage spread, celebrities started softly reacting too. Some distanced themselves while others defended him. Even folks that respect Snoop are stating this one was a horrible look. A longtime Business Insider stated, "There's just certain lines you don't cross when you represent the culture, and performing for Trump after clowning others for it, that's one of them." Still, not everyone's turning on him fully. There's a sense that people don't want to cancel Snoop. They just want him to own up to the double standard. A simple acceptance could calm the storm, but he's staying mute, maybe hoping the noise dies down. But in the internet age, silence doesn't mean peace. It just offers people more room to talk. And let's be serious, hip-hop's going through a change. The new generation watches everything the OGs do, and events like this influence how the next wave finds success, loyalty, and authenticity. If Snoop, the man from Long Beach, repped Death Road and made Gin and Juice a global anthem, can get called out for switching up, then no one's untouchable. It's a wake-up call that your words never disappear and your past always catches up. That's why DL Hughley's clip hit harder than just gossip. It reminded everyone that even legends can tumble off their pedestal when they forget what they once stood for. Now they're questioning what comes next. Will Snoop address the criticism or keep letting folks talk? Because if he doesn't, the speculation's only going to expand. The fans who once saw him as Uncle Snoop are now questioning if that image was ever real. One comment summed it up well. "We loved Snoop for being one of us, not one of them, but now he's standing close to them, and we don't know what that means anymore." That's the kind of disappointment you can't just brush off on Instagram. This time, the smoke ain't from his blunt, it's from the backlash. No matter how this plays out, one thing's certain, this saga has officially transformed the way people regard Snoop Dogg. His legend might stay intact, but his loyalty is under question like never before. DL Hughley didn't just drag him, he broke open the door for a whole new conversation about what it means to stay on your word when fame and politics collide. So, what do you think? Did Snoop, Nelly, and Rick Ross go too far by performing for Trump? Or is it just business at the end of the day? Drop your opinions in the comments. This one's got the culture divided. Don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and comment if you want further detailed dives into hip-hop's biggest moments, because this narrative is far from over, and the next one might be even weirder.